Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can tell by the title of this video is not only going to be slightly a tutorial, get ready with me, but this is kind of going to be a tips and tricks video on how I have improved my smoky eye over the years. And definitely looking back on some of my old makeup looks, these looks are still up on my channel to this day. You can definitely see that I have definitely improved my eyeshadow looks and smoky eyes over the years. I'm definitely not a makeup artist by any means. I'm sure I still do some things that aren't perfect, but I think my smoky eye has definitely improved. And so I thought I would make this video just showing or sharing some of my tips on what I think makes doing a smoky eye look better and also easier to do as well. So yeah, that's basically it. You're just going to be watching me do my eyeshadow look, this eyeshadow look that you are seeing right here, and just along the way I'm just going to be sharing some of my tips and tricks for you guys. So if you would like to learn how to improve your smoky eye, then just keep on watching. Alright, so the palette that I'm going to be using in this video is this eyeshadow palette from Morphe. I apologize, I don't know like the specific name for it. And the first tip that we are going to jump right on into is getting to know your eyeshadow brushes. Getting to know your eyeshadow brushes, it's going to make your eyeshadow look overall look a lot better. This is something that I never really paid attention to in the past, and I think that's what really led to my eyeshadows not really blending properly, not going into my crease properly, and just looking patchy with harsh lines, and really making my eyeshadow kind of go all over my eye. So before you even start your eyeshadow look, by getting to know your brushes, it's going to make things go a lot smoother. And there are specific eyeshadow brushes for specific things. You know, you have specific crease brushes. Some are more dense and some are more flexible. So you kind of need to learn and play around with and see what those eyeshadow brushes do. And I think making this change in my eyeshadow routine has definitely made a difference, and it has made applying eyeshadows, blending them, all that sort of stuff, it's made it so much more easier and faster as well. The next tip that I have for you guys is to use clean makeup brushes in your eyeshadow routine. Now, this is something that I never used to do in the past. I just always thought like it was pointless, like it didn't really do anything, so like why would I dirty up a clean makeup brush for no reason? But over the years, I have slowly incorporated this step into my eyeshadow routine because I eventually learned that using clean makeup brushes, specifically blending brushes for your crease, it really helps fix any harsh lines, and it doesn't mess up your eyeshadow look. It doesn't make it look patchy, and because it's clean, like you're not gonna get like eyeshadow all over like your brow bone area or kind of outside like the outer corner or anything like that. So by using a clean makeup brush, you're able to kind of do a little bit more blending, make it look a little bit more cleaned up, and you're not going to make a mess by adding in any more eyeshadow pigmentation, if that makes any sense. This step definitely makes a huge difference on getting your eyeshadow look to look more flawless and clean. The next tip that I have for you guys is to slowly build up your pigmentation. I feel like this is very important for a lot of different things because you can always build up the color or the pigmentation of your eyeshadow, but if you use too much, you can never take that away. And I feel like using too much, you're gonna lead to more patchiness, it's gonna be more difficult to blend, and of course it's gonna make a bigger mess. So definitely start out with a small amount of eyeshadow, especially if you're using like a newer eyeshadow or a palette. You don't really know how the fallout's gonna be, the kickback, all of that sort of stuff. So definitely pick up a little bit of color, put it on your eyes. If you're not really seeing a lot of pigmentation, it's okay, you can always go back into it. This is something that I have definitely learned over the years, and it definitely has made a difference in making the eye look more clean and less patchy. All right, you guys, I have 2 more tips to share with you guys, and these 2 tips are going to center around blending, which is probably one of the top most important things when it comes to creating an eye look, creating a smoky eye. So the first tip that I'm going to get into that has to do with blending is going to be about over blending. And that tip is over blending is a thing. Now, this is something that I never would have thought would have been a thing when I first started out, you know, really taking makeup seriously, I guess you could say. In the past, I could literally spend what felt like hours blending out my eyeshadows, and I could never figure out why the final product of my eyes looked so wonky in a way. They just looked so patchy, the pigmentation was so off, and it was just a pain in the butt. And over the years, through practice, I figured out what is known as over blending. And once I figured out what over blending was, it was a kind of a hard habit for me to break, but the way that I ended up breaking it is once I got the eyeshadows onto my eyes, I did the minimal amount of blending. And when I got to a point where they were even just like okay looking, that's when I would stop and I would not do any more blending. And then I would move on to like my brow bone highlight or applying my lid color or working on my lower lash line or something to that extent. I would take a break from the blending so it didn't lead to over blending, if that makes any sense. And then of course the more eyeshadows that I put on different parts of my eyes, I could always go back into my crease, touch up any pigmentation that might have been lost when I was putting on my lid color or anything like that. And then you can kind of go back and fix any blending, fix any harsh lines that you may be seeing. But I found that that really helps break that over blending routine that I was so stuck in for so long. And I feel like that alone has made such a big difference on my eye looks becoming more flawless. And the 5th and final tip that I have for you guys on how I improved my smoky eye, and when it comes to blending, is to use light pressure. I feel like when I first started out, like using eyeshadows, I would use such like a hard pressure, especially when it came to applying eyeshadows into my crease. I don't know why I wanted to press so hard. I don't know if it was because I wanted to get like better like color payoff that way, but I eventually learned over the years that using hard pressure is definitely not the way to go. I feel like using hard pressure, it's going to make it a lot harder to blend the eyeshadows out after you apply it that way. So it's going to lead to harsh lines, and overall, it isn't going to look as good, not going to look as flawless. So over the years, I have learned to use a light pressure. And this kind of goes back to my 3rd tip that I told you guys about slowly building up that pigmentation. When you're using light pressure, you may not get the best color payoff, but you can always go back in and build up that color. But I do believe it is important and a must to use light pressure, especially when it comes to applying colors into your crease. And because you're using that lighter pressure, you're not going to get those harsh lines that are going to be a pain in the butt to blend out. And overall, it's just going to be a lot easier to work with, and you'll be able to create this flawless eye look in a short amount of time. Alright everyone, and that is it for my tips on how I have improved my smoky eye over the years. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. If you found this video helpful in any way, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you are a makeup lover like myself, and if you have any tips or tricks on how you like to do your eyeshadow makeup or make the perfect smoky eye, please make sure to leave those tips down in the comments. I would love to hear from all of you guys and hopefully learn from you guys, like I have hopefully helped you guys learn something in this video. So once again, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna get going for now, but I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.